Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Adrienne Ross Show. And if this is your first time, you get a special hello. Glad to have you on board. Remember, hit the subscribe button. Appreciate that. Okay, I did a video not that long ago, just maybe an hour or so ago, in which I congratulated Caitlin Clark on Rookie of the Year. And I gave a shout out to her teammates, and I termed them Teammates of the Year. I said that I was going to keep that short and sweet, but that I would be back and I would add a little spicy. And so I have to. First of all, Caitlin Clark deserved a video in which I just highlighted the amazing accomplishment of Rookie of the Year. But I had to come back, and I'll probably come back again for another part of this, another piece to the puzzle. Caitlin Clark, AP Rookie of the Year. We've known that for a little bit of time now. We were waiting when she would be announced as the WNBA's Rookie of the Year. And as it turns out, she was announced as the Rookie of the Year, or found out she was the Rookie of the Year at a practice in Connecticut by a phone call on speaker so that the team could hear it, first asking if Caitlin Clark was around. Might that Caitlin Clark person be somewhere in the building? And then WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert made the announcement to Caitlin Clark that she was indeed Rookie of the Year. Her teammates were excited. They were celebrating. Okay, that's wonderful. But I gotta say, is it just me, or was that the cheesiest thing you have ever seen? This is a professional basketball league. They have awarded Rookie of the Year to someone who has broken tremendous amount of records, to someone who has, we can go on and on. I mean, the triple-double, first time by a rookie, doing it twice, leading the league in assists, making the stands filled, amping up the viewership on television, taking the Indiana Fever to the playoffs for the first time since 2016, being beloved, having the endorsements, just breaking all kinds of records, also in college. We could go on and on and on and on about the season Caitlin Clark has had and what she has done to this league. And they decide, I guess, meaning the powers that be in the WNBA, including the commissioner, they decide not to announce this in front of fans, not to make a big deal out of it. They decided that they were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up. And understand, this is the kind of thing that every person knows is just ridiculous. Now, I did a video, I don't know, a month and a half, 2 months ago, who knows, in which I talked about 5 things that I would do ASAP if I were WNBA commissioner. I guarantee you, one thing that was not on that list was to give Caitlin Clark a cheesy Rookie of the Year announcement. Here's the thing also. People get upset when others say that the league is petty, that the league is purposely, throwing shade at Caitlin Clark, downplaying Caitlin Clark, mistreating Caitlin Clark. And then people come and say, I don't know why people are saying that. People need to just cut it out. And let me tell you why people begin to think that way. Because there ain't nobody with a lick of sense who would think that anyone would be so dense as to have what we saw be the announcement for Rookie of the Year. Nobody wants to believe that this league could actually be that dense. Professional league, guys. We're not talking about a rec league. We're not talking about even a high school team. Nobody believes that anybody is that clueless. And so it's actually a compliment for you to be thought of as someone who is just malicious, because otherwise we'd have to think you were absolutely like cuckoo, because nobody thinks that that's the way that you would take the Rookie of the Year, who's bringing all the eyeballs and all the money and making other people better in the league and all this stuff. Nobody thinks that's an appropriate way to present the Rookie of the Year. Now, I know we got all kinds of people who are apologists. We see those kinds of people in comments, and they're always wanting to make excuses. God bless them. Because I sometimes do that with friends. They'll say something about somebody, and I'm always like, well, maybe. And they're just like, no, that's not it. And I'm just like, well, maybe they didn't mean it that. So I get it. There'll always be people who are going to come out and they're going to go, well, I mean, like maybe the trophy wasn't ready for their last game at home, and so they didn't have a choice. The guy who makes the trophies, he had an emergency in the family and he couldn't quite get the job done, and so this is what they had. No, come on. It's just unfathomable. Now, somebody might also say, well, you want to have them have that award and that announcement in front of their home crowd. You don't want to do it in front of Connecticut. Dejanay Carrington, she's getting her most improved player there. And so, it really should have been done at home, but they didn't win, so they didn't get back home. And so we decided we were going to just dial up the phone. As much as I'm rocking with the Indiana Fever, as much as I wanted to believe they're going to go far in these playoffs, it has to occur to anybody watching. This is a young team. There's a chance they're not going to make it back to Indiana. I mean, I didn't want to think about it, but I mean, come on, right? There's a chance that they're not going to come back home. So what do? I have some foresight, and I make sure that she gets her due in front of the fans so that other people can celebrate beyond social media. Now, social media has been great. Like you saw in my last video, when I congratulated Caitlin Clark, I showed how the team celebrated her. I showed the video that was done, and that's wonderful. But my goodness, this is what you come up with to present the award for Caitlin Clark, the #1 draft, and a person who is a generational talent, who has revolutionized things in the league, in the world of sports. This is a problem for the WNBA. Is not anybody able to speak into those who have the say-so in this league? That's what you present? It takes me back, and I've used this before, it takes me back to that show, The Cosby Show, where Heathcliff Huxtable, I can hardly even say it, Heathcliff Huxtable, to sound like Lena Horne, or to attempt to in that episode. Heathcliff Huxtable, when he told Dabness, when Vanessa just brought him home and said, we're getting married, and he went through this whole thing about this wonderful meal that you have, and it's just perfect, it's what you love to eat, it's made just right, it's all this, and instead of putting it on a plate, you put it on a garbage can lid. And as he said, it's in the presentation, isn't it? That's what Vanessa did, Dabness. She brought you here on a garbage can lid. And that's what they did. And that is what they did with the Rookie of the Year announcement. You've got fans. I'm talking about real fans, not all this nonsense we're hearing about everybody, about these so-called horrible Indiana Fever fans. I'm talking about real fans. You have an opportunity to present this in front of your fans, the ones who are showing up, who are watching, who are buying merchandise, all these people, and you've got an opportunity to just have this thing be huge and to continue the momentum for your league. And instead, You decide that it's a cool thing, it's a professional thing to say, let's put Caitlin Clark on speakerphone in an empty arena with her teammates there. And that's wonderful. That part's wonderful. Caitlin Clark standing in the middle of the circle thing there, and the coach is holding out the phone. Oh, yeah, you, by the way, you're the rookie of the year, Caitlin. They need to get somebody in this league who's got some kind of business sense, some kind of common sense, even. And again, most people don't believe that anybody could be that dense. And that's when they start to go, something ain't right here. And even if they're wrong in their assessment, the other thing is that you really are that dense. And therefore, there's no wonder that this is where you are 27 years later in your league. This was a pivotal moment, and this league has messed it up every step of the way. But lest I end on bad news, Caitlin Clark, she's moving on. Now, I gotta say this, she's a smart young woman. And y'all don't think that this girl got home or got on the phone with her dad and was like, and her mom was like, did you, they told me, what? People are wild. Yeah, I mean, Caitlin Clark is media savvy or whatever, but come on. Even she can look at this and be like, this is the jacked up thing. She ain't losing any sleep over it, that's for sure. She's not playing for awards, but she's the marketing major. She understands this is not how you conduct business. This is not how you celebrate Rookie of the Year for someone who came into the league and just has lived up to the hype. The fans love you. The sales are up. All this stuff. This is not how you function. What is going on with this league? They need to turn some things around like yesterday. This is an embarrassment to the league. It just is. Your Rookie of the Year. Meanwhile, your most improved player, which means they had a lot of improvement to do. No shame in being most improved player. They gave it to DeJounte Carrington. She had a nice little hoopla thing going on. Caitlin Clark, garbage can lid. League, you gotta do better. Mercy. Again, I got some more I gotta come to you with, and I'll do that. I wanted to do the first video, just showing my love to Caitlin Clark and the team, and I had to do a little spicy here. I got some more spicy coming. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you have not done so. Like, comment, share, all the good stuff. I will catch you next time, God willing. God bless you abundantly.